All right, we back at it with the van. I want to finish wiring for that subwoofer amp. So it's been a few days, kind of crazy. My mileage has gone up with those spark plugs, the new ones. Throttle response feels better, and overall, the shift and drive quality has improved. So that was a win. Just a friendly reminder to change your spark plugs. For this subwoofer amp, I'm gonna have to pull this thing out again. Unfortunately, with these battery posts, it's the side post. So there's really no good place to attach a subwoofer power cable to that. I was looking for other solutions. I really don't want to take a lead from the fuse box or anything that's like too close to the computer. So I'm gonna try to decide between connecting it to the terminal on the back of the alternator, which is up under there, which is making that transmission like whine. Or do I want to take the terminal from the starter? So that terminal from the starter is down low, alternator one's up high over there. So I'm gonna take that seat out. That is unfortunately the only way I have found to be able to get this out, pull this out, and then let's make a decision. Sorry you guys missed a lot of that. I decided I am gonna take the wire on the back of the alternator, given that this thing's probably only gonna be used when the car is running. So here's that lead coming through. Got a little hole over there. I'm gonna tuck this under here. I might just run it actually with all the wires that go to the fuse box. I am gonna take that one post as the ground, so I'm gonna get a bolt or another nut that fits on the top of that, and I'm gonna sandwich that ground strap in between. So the routing, I'm just gonna kinda leave it here. So it's got an integrated fuse that's down there. I'll probably throw some zip ties just to make me feel a little bit better, or I'll just roll the wire over to the back of this so you don't see it as much. Not that it really matters. So super easy taking the power wire from the whole deal from the firewall, routed it under there with a bunch of the other wires, and it comes out right here. Perfect. I'm gonna go get a nut so I can actually just reuse this ground. So I'm gonna put the nut on there and then sandwich the negative in between that. And then right in there, that is the alternator positive. So I'm gonna attach this on top of that. Try to get you guys some video, but it might just not work out. Cool, so there's our ground. That's a welded post to the chassis, so that should be pretty good. Sandwiched in between with two washers. That is not going anywhere. Tighten this up with some zip ties and then attach that final cable to the alternator positive post. All right, it's secure in there. I'm just gonna cover that little cap, put this cowl back in, seat back in, zip ties on that, and then officially plug in the amp. I don't know if I would say I'm proud of this, but yeah, she's in. So let's do that first official test. Okay, radio's on. And I'm not getting a power light on the amp. So what is going wrong with that? My cables are in there correctly. Hopefully it's not something with my remote wire connection. That would really suck to have to take the dash off again. So I'm gonna get my multimeter. I'm gonna check for 12 volt positive at this thing. Hopefully the amp isn't cooked. Or maybe I got a bad ground. I don't know. So here we go. Power in the back of the amp. We're getting 12.57. So that's success. So let's switch that middle terminal and check to see if we're getting a remote wire. And we are not getting remote wire power. So that is a problem with the remote wire. So I'm gonna pull the dash off and check to see what's up with that. That kind of sucks, but could be worse. But what's weird is I'm only getting 0.1 volt. So I think something, I'm gonna check the head unit to see if there's a setting for subwoofer on or off, because maybe it does have a remote amp trigger. And so, look at that. Blue light. I don't know what's happening on the radio right now. But what happened was the radio had power, but the radio was not actually turned on. It was in like sleep mode. So it was still lit up, but in sleep mode. And so for some reason the amp was off, but now it's on. So life's good. I'm gonna put that cowl back in there, put the seat back in, and time for subwoofer and sub box. Good folks of YouTube. So the van's been doing pretty good until 5 minutes ago. So my alternator has failed. So that whining sound that I thought was the transmission is actually the alternator. So I'm currently driving on borrowed time. So I gotta get to my in-laws this evening for dinner, and I'm hoping this thing makes it. Shouldn't be too far of a drive, but I'm gonna try to get this fixed within the next few days because we are also moving, which complicates everything, and we kind of needed the van for that. So let's see if she makes it. So it looks like it's building voltage again, which is really weird. Maybe there's something loose. I have to take a peek at that. I have been kind of smelling like it smells like a burning serpentine belt or burning rubber. And I've just been a little bit busy, so I've just been driving it. And it's been doing that for probably the last like 300 to 400 miles.
In 1 mile, turn right onto 25 Mile Road.
So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so here we go again. Just picking up some pizza at Nostalgia's. Check them out. Yeah, here it goes again. It's not charging right off the get-go. So I don't know if that's something with the Energizer circuit on there. Or, yeah, ignore all these warnings. Kind of strange. Still not generating power about 5-10 miles later. So I think it may have officially kicked the bucket. I'll probably end up going to a junkyard either tomorrow or Monday, potentially grab one. So we're like 3 days into the van having no alternator. It's not generating power, but I mean, it still drives, you know, if you charge it every 100-ish miles. So basically it's like a crappy EV, but it also burns gas. Unfortunately, I really don't have a choice. I'm kind of, I gotta do a lot of moving. My wife and I, we are in the process of a move, and I really can't take half a day to go rip this thing apart and put an alternator in it. So we're just gonna keep driving it for the meantime. So the van survived the move, despite with no alternator function. As you can see, I'm starting to run it a little bit low. I got about another 5 to 7 miles to go, and then back to the charge. But yeah, I'm gonna try and grab that alternator tomorrow and throw that in, because it is super annoying to have to keep this thing plugged. But it made it. Overall, I really don't know how we could have done this sort of move without a van. I mean, yeah, you could, you know, do a U-Haul or something, but with a lot of things, you know, you can fit them in a pickup truck, but sometimes you just need a van. All right, just picked up my alternator. It's kind of chilling back over there. Yeah, it's 25 bucks. So I figured that's easier than me going to the yard, as this only took a little bit of driving. So yeah, hopefully this thing will fire up and work. So hopefully I'll get to installing that later today. But in the meantime, it is like 85 degrees here in Michigan. I can't run the AC because that'll just kill the battery and I still have to drive. So I'm just gonna keep the windows cracked and keep drinking water. Yeah, it was a pretty weak sounding start. Boy. All right, we're riding it real close here. It's probably gonna cut any minute now. The fuel gauge cut out. A few other lights are kind of flashing. I got quite away from my destination, so it looks like I might be putting in this alternator at a parking lot and then asking for someone to give me a
At the roundabout, take the second exit to merge onto M53 North.
Oh yeah, more lights are coming on. Yeah, it's probably gonna die pretty soon. Oh, we're backfiring. All right, I'm gonna try to get through this roundabout and figure out what the play is from here, because she is about to die. I mean, do I just keep riding or do I just pull over somewhere? So I'm gonna look for some place with a plug.
In about 1.5 miles, turn right onto Hall Road.
All right, where's a good place to beach it? Who's got power? Let's see here. Yeah, it's got no power. It's about to die. Well, that sucks. It's literally about to quit, so I think I might just pull in gas station or bank. I think gas station. All right, let's just hope I can get out of the road. Wow.
In 3/4 mile, turn right onto Merrill Road.
That's it. Okay, so there's power right there. I can see it. I guess this was the best I could have done. Let's try to figure out what the heck to do now. After coffee, there's a local car dealership that's like right next to the gas station. And so I was able to borrow an extension cord from them, as I took the extension cord out of the van for some reason, but still left the charger. So I'm gonna go plug this thing in for a little bit, do some work on the computer. I got a Craigslist deal coming up, so change the meeting location here and hopefully all should be well. So let's get her plugged in. And look at that, we got juice. So I'm gonna let this thing charge for a bit and hopefully make it home without it dying. Charged for about an hour and a half or so. Should be enough to get me home. Only got like 16 miles, so really could be worse, I guess. And then I could put in that bad boy right back there. So I got about 4.5 miles, and that needle is sure coming down quick. So every time I hit the brakes, you can just see it continue to dip. Thankfully, we're on some back roads and we can just kind of cruise or do a flat toe for that last little bit if it does in fact die. All right, we got about a 1/4 mile left. It's starting to sputter. I think we should be able to just kind of coast into it. Oh my gosh, these roads are gonna be the death of this van. So here we go, that final corner, and then it turned into the driveway. We're below 9 volts right now. All the other lights are coming on. Oh, come on, baby. Almost there, almost there. Go, 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 go. Oh yeah, look at this. We're gonna make it. In we go. Sick. moment too soon. Yeah, it's starting to go. Wow. Yeah, praise God for that. So that alternator, it's gonna go in here. So this thing has to come out. I gotta get to the wires at the back and then take the hood open, take the fan shroud out, a few other things. So I'll let this thing cool down for a bit and then let's throw it together. Looks like I don't have to remove the fan shroud after all, as I was able to get that tensioner to release. The bearings in that also sound a little scary, but we're just gonna run it. All the alternators still in there, bolts are pulled, and on the back, oh hey there. The connectors are undone, so I gotta get a crowbar and pry this thing up and out. I do believe this is the original alternator, and it's feeling like it's fused in there. Looks like we'll be getting to this a little bit later. Wait for this rain to pass. I cannot seem to get that alternator out, so I might have to actually pull that fan shroud, which is not going to be fun. Fan shroud does in fact have to go. Basically all your bolts down low on both sides. It'll kind of let you shimmy it off enough. Here's the old unit. Really doesn't look that great, but listen to this. So that definitely will stop that whining sound that the fan was making. Originally I thought it was the transmission, but it is in fact the alternator. So we got the new one there. It does look a little different. I don't know if that's just a different part revision. This is in fact an OEM GM alternator. Bolt holes look about the same. Plug looks about the same. Yeah, sweet. Hopefully it'll work. I'm gonna throw this in there and I'll see you guys when I fire this thing up for the first time. All right, all that's buttoned up. I still have the inside open just in case if something does go wrong. So let's see, one, will it start because the battery was like cooked, I didn't charge it. And also, will it generate power? Come on. Oh yeah, look at that. We're making power. My transmission whine sound is gone. Look at that. Everything's all happy. Sweet, praise God for that. We'll put these last two pieces in and then I will catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.